I like hats. I wear them all the time. In reality, I don't have a choice. The sun here in south central Texas is merciless. But I've always worn hats, and I consider them as much a part of my wardrobe as a shirt or shoes. I started when I was young wearing trucker or baseball caps, and over the years my style expanded to the point where I rarely wear those anymore, preferring some more stylish and in some cases more practical headwear. This series will explore the origin and history of various types of hats and show you some current examples of them. The hat types will include fedoras, flat caps, trucker caps, cowboy hats, and probably some others as I discover them. I hope you enjoy it. The origin and history of fedora hats. The fedora hat has a history that traces back to the late 19th century. At first, it was a woman's hat. It first appeared in a play titled Fedora. And the lead character, Princess Fedora, was played by Sarah Bernhardt. And Sarah wore a hat that had a center crease and a wide brim. So it kind of fit the definition of what we know today as a fedora. The name, of course, came from that play. The hat that she wore probably resembled more of what we know today as a Homburg style, which I'll discuss in more detail later. But a production of that play in the United States is really what a lot of people think generated the interest in the fedora hat. A sharp hat maker read about the play coming, knew about the hat that Sarah Bernhardt wore, which was unique, by the way, for a woman. But Sarah was a noted crossdresser at the time, often playing male roles in plays. She was one of the most famous actresses in France during the late 19th century and early 20th century. So this hat maker created some hats, and he convinced Robert Mantell, the actor playing in the play here in the United States, to wear the hat. Although there's some dispute about that story, that seems to be the one that has the most traction, so let's go with that one. At the very least, it was influenced by the original hat worn by Sarah Bernhardt in the play, hence its name, as I said, Fedora. It captured the attention of the fashionistas at the time and became popular among women. Shortly after that, men started wearing them. By the early 1900s, the fedora had become popular among men. The hat's design was practical, yet stylish, making it an appealing choice for men of various social classes. It became particularly popular in the 1920s and 1930s, often associated with gangsters and in film noir. The fedora was commonly made typically of wool and had a soft crown and a wide brim that could be snapped up or turned down. However, throughout the ages, the fedora hat became emblematic of various social movements and cultural phenomena. In the 1940s and 50s, in fact, it was closely associated with jazz and big band scenes, often worn by musicians and fans alike. The fedora also became a staple for Hollywood actors and characters, contributing to this image as a sophisticated and sometimes mysterious accessory. My first exposure to the fedora was through my dad. He always wore one, and my first one was one of his. In the 21st century, the fedora has seen a resurgence in popularity among various fashion subcultures. Hipsters, vintage movements. Designers have reimagined the fedora in many materials and styles, making it approachable for both men and women. Fedoras have some common and some differing characteristics and are described by the shape and size of a few of these common characteristics. The crown is the very top of the hat. It starts out just being rounded, but then it can be molded for various purposes and styles. It can be dented, teardrop shape, as this one is. It can have a diamond-shaped dent in the middle, or it can just be rounded, and I'll show you some examples of that in a little while. The bottom part of the fedora is known as the brim, this flat piece that protects me from the sun. Usually it's turned up like this one, but wearers will often turn it down, and the front part down, I should say, where the back part is usually either flat or turned up a little bit. They can be shaped pretty much any way you want. For this reason, these are known as a snap brim. You can wear it up, or you can wear it down. And with a felt hat like this, it's very easy to shape them by using a little bit of steam, and it will hold its shape. It's a matter of style and function, and I find that the turned down brim blocks the sun a lot better for me. The front part of the crown, right up here, is often dented or pinched, as you can imagine, to give the hat a more streamlined appearance. The pinch is often created or modified by the wearer to suit their own individual style. Initially, it's molded with a rounded crown and a turned up brim, but then it can be molded by a merchant or by the owner, wearer, to suit their style. As I said, the dent and the pinch are two common modifications to create an individual look. When a hat is made, it usually has a rounded top, similar to this bowler hat, and that can be dented and shaped as I just talked about. Decoration is another stylish addition that people often do to their hats. Typically, they often come, fedoras anyway, with a band. This one is a matching color of the hat. And also feathers are used to add a little more flair, a little more style. I think I put feathers in most of my hats. And you can change the feathers, as a matter of fact. So decoration is important. Hat bands can be the same color, or they can be contrasting. Very common also in cowboy hats, as a matter of fact. Fedoras come in a variety of styles, each distinguished by unique shapes, materials, and features. Here are some of the more prominent styles of fedora hats. First of all, the classic fedora. While it's changed over time, it has not changed dramatically. It usually includes a pinch at the front and a little bit wider brim. Back in the 30s and 40s, a century ago, and more, not quite, it was typically a little bit wider than this, and the front was always snapped down. Think about gangsters, Humphrey Bogart, people like that. A trilby is similar to a classic fedora. Typically the crown is a little bit higher. It's usually worn with a back turned up. Many of them have an even narrower brim than this one does. Here's an example of a trilby. A wide brim fedora, kind of my favorite, has a wider brim, which makes it much more useful for outdoor activities. Again, it blocks the sun very well, and I have numerous examples of them here. And by the way, you may have noticed that this one is not a wool or felt hat. It's actually made of straw, more lightweight, great for summer months, great for Texas. Here's a little heavier version, a double weaved straw that is a little more durable, but again breathes a little bit and is great for warmer climates. They're available in all the fedora styles, but again, made out of straw. Well, there's a quick overview of fedoras and some of the more prominent styles. Next time I will get into a little more detail of some of the more exotic fedora styles out there today.